When the Gulf of Georgia Cannery was built in 1894, it was nicknamed the Monster Cannery because it was the largest of its kind. Why would BC's largest salmon cannery be built in Steveston Village? The answer is simple: location, location, location. Steveston had everything a successful cannery required. It was located at the mouth of the mighty Fraser River, which was a vital lifeline for indigenous peoples who had lived and harvested here for thousands of years, as well as an important transportation corridor already famous for its salmon runs. When the Monster Cannery was built, Steveston was already home to 9 other canneries. The village drew people from various backgrounds who came here to work in the fast-growing fishing and canning industries. The First Nations people were the first to work for the canneries with their extensive knowledge of the area and its resources. Many Chinese men were hired as laborers in various positions, including butchering, sealing cans, and at the retorts. The first Japanese immigrants arrived in Steveston in the late 1800s. The men worked as fishers and boat builders, and the women worked along the canning lines. At its peak, there were 15 canneries in Steveston, and a record number of salmon were canned every 4 years during the big Fraser River sockeye salmon runs. The last of the record runs was in 1913, after which rock blasting near Hell's Gate to make way for the National Railway line blocked the sockeyes' journey to their spawning grounds. Production at the Gulf of Georgia Cannery declined as the salmon runs grew smaller, and the cost of keeping up with changes in technology became too high. The cannery stopped canning salmon in the 1930s and became a herring reduction plant in the 1940s. Before it closed its herring operation in 1979, the Gulf of Georgia Cannery was designated a National Historic Site as a symbol of Canada's West Coast fishing industry. Its location in Steveston, considered to be historically the most important fishing village on the West Coast, and its relatively intact architecture made it the ideal home to preserve and promote the history of fishing and canning communities that were once vibrant with industry for the first half of the 20th century. The Gulf of Georgia Cannery Society, a non-profit community organization, was formed in 1986 to work in partnership with Parks Canada to manage and operate the site. Today, the Gulf of Georgia Cannery National Historic Site features a permanent exhibit about the salmon canning industry that fueled the growth of Steveston Village. A restored salmon canning line from the 1940s and 50s demonstrates the different stages of how salmon was canned, and demonstrates the social history and diverse workforce behind its operations. Visitors can explore the interactive exhibits and interpretive displays, enjoy short videos illustrating the history of the site, or watch an introductory film in the Boiler House Theatre. The herring reduction plant has been fully preserved in its permanent exhibit space, displaying massive machines once used to process Pacific herring into fish meal and fish oil when it was in operation in the 1940s to the 1970s. The cannery is also home to special events and programs for local families to enjoy throughout the year. As a proud member of the Steveston neighborhood, the cannery is a lasting symbol of the hard work of the community who came together to save this important piece of local history.